pray God who gives us strength and shit. Give me strength, Lord. Help me, Jesus. I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman. Sorry, I'm a joke. Seer, Oracle, Lightworker, Starseed, Earth Angel, Mystic, Medium, Psychic, Witch, Yogi, Guru, Evangelist, Prophet, Messenger of God, Whole Child of God, the Lilith reincarnated, here on a Tuesday. In order to keep up with me, you would have to catch all the bullshit I posted last night, plus this morning. Especially the last thing I just posted. I just was laughing. I posted this reel from Instagram about going through the freaking healing journey. And it's like, it's such a fucking terrible ride. And it's like, when will it stop? No, it doesn't stop. Like, people like, this girl asked me like a week ago or so, whatever, was like, I just want to get through the healing process. Yeah, so did we all. Only to find out that it'll never end. That we really gotta, after we heal our, you know, our immediate problems, then we get faced with the world's problem. Such a terrible ride, guys. And I'm sitting here supposed to watch this ride. You know, I'm going through my footage. No, I'm not really. I kind of went through some of it, and I was like, that's enough. That's it. How much can you take of this? Not too much, bro. I can't take too much of this. It was so hard to do. It's like... I was like, what is wrong with me? Just sitting there all the time trying to figure it out, bro. Or you wonder where all these books and shit. I couldn't find what I was looking for, bro. There was nothing describing what I was going through. Then I started finding terminologies for it. And then I started realizing what, you know, I started reading about what this entails and what's really going on. And I was like, all right, cool. I could do this in a month. I mean, in a summer. Then they tell me I'm going to be here for 56 more years doing this shit. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You should have just left me asleep. I could have at least died. You know what I mean? Numb. I feel for you. It's such a long ride. And you just have to embrace it. That's what I mean. Is like, dude, you fighting it is only making each stage of it harder. How many stages are there? I don't know, bro. I've been doing this for 2 years. It ain't stopping. I just realized the schedule to it. I just put it on a schedule, made a schedule out of the shit, dude. I realized this shit is never going to stop. And if I don't catch on, it's just going to... I'm just barely hanging on. So that's why I learned to embrace it. But nah, dude. In the beginning, I had no idea what was happening. Again, I shared a video earlier this morning of when it was like 3 o'clock in the morning and I caught myself being an idiot trying to go back to work. I'm like, bitch, you're doing the most. Go to bed. And that's where it was in the beginning. I could just see myself in action and then stop the actions if I was lucky. Usually it'd be like, damn, what the fuck did I just do? Damn it. I have no self-control over this. I'm going to be better. In the essence, so I teach you self-control, but I had to learn the hardest ways of it. And it's pretty funny. I learned everything all by myself. You know what I mean? And I found all the answers for you. I went looking everywhere, and that's what's really funny too, is this fucking journey. How do I sum up all these states and what I learned in each state and why he took me there? It seemed like the fucking longest journey, bro, of me driving around in my car from state to state. But I look back at it, and it only was like 6 weeks of it. But it was like, dude, I traveled so far, so fucking fast, and wouldn't stop. It was unbelievable, bro. It was unbelievable. Talk about a backpack journey from hell. And then I look up, and I'm like, damn, it's been 2 years. The time flies, bro, and it's like, it's not like you're not occupying your time. You're literally going through it, all stages of that. And that's what I tried to show you. I tried to explain to you. It's like, these ego deaths, bro, they can last as long as you make them, but you need to learn how to accept them and move on, just so you can get to the next one. But the point of them is that you're healing, bro. You're hurting. You're fucking hurting for reals, and it doesn't look like you're getting much better. But you are. You're just going through them so fast that you're not seeing the individual healing process for each one. By the time you're done, they're all, you know, there's just a whole part of you that's been healed. You've already healed half of your life. Just sitting there in it for too long. And it was cool too, because I described how I would write music and how I would just see it come to life, how it just comes out of me. And that's always been that way. It's like, you know, it just started to happen. But the whole point of it is like, Why am I making this documentary? What am I trying to show you? This, bro, what it's going to do to you and how to get through it. It's called the Divine Awakening, bro. I didn't know what it was, what was happening to me. And that's what the documentary is about, is the discovery of what I was going through. You know what I mean? And that's what the whole documentary is going to be about, is the journey of the dark night of the soul. Everything else is all extra, and it's going to be one hell of a story that could be told for fucking years, because there's so much fucking footage to go with it. It's like binge watch, bro. You'll get sick. There has to be a limit to how much you can watch of this at a time. You know what I mean? You'll pull out of life. You won't remember where you are and what you were doing watching my stories for too long. And so I was like, you know, that's where I'm at. I'm like, oh, pull it back. Come back to reality. Stay in the here and now. Don't go back too far. And it all just happens every day. It's happening too fast. And it just keeps happening. And I'm just embracing what's happening with a full unknowing of what is happening. I only later, like in the last year or so, the last 6 months, was able to put it into fucking, you know what I mean, understandable words. Even that cop, when that cop took my car, I tried to explain who I was and what I did. And he said, I think you explained it quite well. At that time, I thought it was messy. Every time I talked to someone, I thought I sounded like Kanye. I couldn't stay focused on the conversation. I was always in the other fucking, you know, astral traveling and telling him all this shit about, you know, universal knowledge and shit. You know what I mean? I couldn't stay in the here and now in the conversation. I had to tell them where I had been and what I'd been through. And now it's like, mostly nobody would believe it. But that's later, you can ask, you know, you can see that it really happened, bro. It really happened. And I gotta scroll all the way to the start. I keep trying to get back to the start, but I keep getting stuck in the middle. And the start is, it's just a conversation, bro. It's just a conversation, bro. Somebody reaches out. Bobby reaches out to me to tell me, you know, congratulations on my first single. How wonderful it is that I'm living my dream. He'd like to see me. He always thinks about me. I have no idea who you are, dude. Ugh. That's how it started. How did this start? Just like that, bro. Somebody from my past that I actually tried to remember came in, and after him, I started using my memory. As I say in that video, it's like I never thought about the past. I never ever looked back. And for one moment in time, I stopped and tried to look back and realized there was nothing back there. And that was the whole journey. I was trying to figure out, where did I come from? Where am I going? What am I? What was I? How did I get here? It was a long journey of discovery, and that's what it is. It's a self-discovery journey. You're losing yourself only to find yourself. You're not even sure who you are anymore. Because, you know, you can see your behaviors, you can see how you talk to people, you can see how you lived your life, how you got here. But you're like, this isn't my life. You know, like, and you try to maintain it. It's like you just wake up one day, bro, and you're just like in somebody's body. I woke up in Chris Brown's body. No, it wasn't that cool at all, bro. It wasn't even as cool as Little Dicky, bro. I woke up in Lisa's body. Talking about, it was a whole party, and I was not the only one in there. Here comes Michael Jackson. You are not. I was never alone. And then when it happened, I got to pull that video too. I have no control. They've lost complete control out of them. I've stopped taking the fucking, I blew up on a tree. I stopped taking I stopped microdosing. I have no control over them. I'm just watching them, and they're going crazy. And I end up at Mother Cabrini's, and it all goes quiet. And I never hear from them again. I was so scared. As much as it was a party inside, bro, at least there was something inside, because on my outside, there was nobody. All I had was these voices in my head, these memories, these personalities, these parts of me to guide me. I didn't have a mother. I didn't have anybody. I didn't know what was going on, so I had to listen to my mind to tell me what my life was and what. And as much as I wanted it to stop, when it stopped, I was terrified. Now I have to figure out my life all by myself. They're not here. And as annoying as they were, and what were they? Just sides of me that, you know what I mean, were very particular and would argue with each other and had different perspectives on everything and couldn't get along. They couldn't really get along. You know what I mean? And when they were gone, it was just, there was nobody. It's like, where are they all? And that was even more scary. Now it was just me. And now I had to explore it without them. And it wasn't medication, it was Mother Cabrini, bro. I sat at her doors and I cried and it just went away. I had one hell of a vision that happened then where I saw all kinds of angelical beings in her, in her garden, and I heard the kids playing on the other side of the door and all this shit happened, and then it left. I never heard them again. And I cried. I was lost. It was similar to when I lost Pac. And I'd already been in the light for weeks. I just didn't understand. I was like, I hadn't had any dark night of the souls. I hadn't had any dark feelings. I hadn't had no darkness. I'd just been sitting in light, transmuting unbelievable light codes from, you know what I mean, from Mr. Plum's garden. Everything was a code. All the animals, the whole fucking, it was breathing on me, the universe. They were just nonstop talking to me. The birds that kept flying into me, everything. The Choctaws, everything was talking to me. And then I look up, I'm like, where's Pac? And I can hear him. I can't see you, Pac. You're in the light. And I just shocked. I don't see them. You know what I mean? I don't see the spirit world like I used to. And, going through these levels, it's terrifying. And that was it too, its own level. I'm talking to dead people, bro. Like, not, I'm talking to them, they're fucking talking to me. And again, people thought I was crazy because I was taking mushrooms. I was taking amphetamine diet pills you know what I mean? At the same time I was taking mushrooms. I wasn't sleeping, you know what I mean? Like they think I should have been, and I was trying to figure all this out. So nobody really knew what the fuck I was doing. They thought I was crazy. From talking to the personalities within my head to talking to the beings inside of my, you know what I mean, intuition. But that's where the discovery is. It's like, I understand why you thought, but there's been too much proof. How much more proof do you need to show that God talks to me, bro? I told you the truth since the beginning. I told you what was wrong with me. Every time I found anything, I brought it to the internet. Not to clear my name, but just because, oh, look at what I discovered. Down to my first tarot reader. Guys, I don't know what's happening. I live a day and then she posts a video about everything I've been through. I don't know who this lady is. I've never seen nothing. Do you guys know about tarot? Who's this lady? You know what I mean? I didn't understand anything. I was always looking for, everywhere. Everywhere. I didn't abandon my religion. It's just there was no answers to this in the Bible that I had studied my whole life. And when I started talking to, when deities and dead people, I was outside of the box, bro. This is nothing that the Bible says happens. And I knew right away that I was praising more than Jesus, that more than Jesus was talking to me, that I was doing, and I was working with somebody. I didn't even know that they were ancestors. You know what I mean? The ritual work. How was I learning this? Where was this coming from? And that's the amazing thing, is you watch, the Holy Spirit is guiding me. But only after I get through me. There's nothing else inside of me guiding me. So now I'm looking, I'm listening inside all the time for them to turn back on, for something to come inside me and tell me what's going on. All of my navigation till that point was inside of me. And then all of a sudden the voices turn off, so now I just sit there. I was already taught how to body map, so if my body acts up, I go through that and I figure out what's going on. I'm just sitting there, always in my feelings. That's what I'm taught by this time. And now I start following these different kind of gut feelings, my intuition now. I'm no longer being guided by the voices in my head. I'm being guided by my intuition, which is the subconscious. And I don't know what it is. I start describing I'm being pulled. I use the word as intuition, and I use the word as universe because I don't know what it is. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know what's talking to me, and I don't want to offend anybody. You know what I mean? Because I really know that this is beyond Christ, what's happening to me. Anything that was ever told in that book, I studied that book. This is not in that book. I don't know what's happening to me. And then I started to believe that I was doing it to myself by looking in witchcraft and stuff like that. I was sure of it, dude. When they stranded me on that fucking mountain, I was sure this was all because I went to fucking, you know what I mean? That I was doing something wrong. I was like, I'm cursed. It's the most terrifying journey, and that's where I circle back to it. It's like, when does it end? It doesn't. you gain peace in the journey, bro. It doesn't, because we have lifetimes to work through, bro. Not this lifetime. You could work through this lifetime as quick as you could work through it. But the point is to, you know what I mean, get back to our other lives. And that's where I started discovering it. And people are like, how did you find out your Akashic records? I saw myself living them, bro. I saw myself living my other lives, bro. I can see those memories easier than I can see Lisa's. Do you know what I mean? How could I have fabricated a memory I've never had? How could I go to a place I've never seen? And that's where it shows. It's like, this is not of my conscious. I don't have, you know what I mean, the human experience in this lifetime to have this type of knowledge, wisdom, or visions, understanding, any of that. I wasn't born into a creative family. There was nobody, you know what I mean? None of that. It was all subconscious. Reawakening yourself. But again, it just happened one day, bro. And that's when it was really interesting, as I started reading other books about how they had awakenings. And what was interesting is they only had one connection. You know what I mean? Dan only talked to the Melchizedeks. The lady that talked to the Palladians actually saw Christ too. You know what I mean? The people that did the archangels, the people that talked to the Lumerians, they were just random people, bro. They weren't taking mushrooms. They weren't mentally ill. Most of them had unbelievable doctrines in you know, crazy places. Going back to psychoanalysis, I don't think he was taking, you know, absinthe and over there, you know, dosing himself to get into the alter ego. But they knew this way back then, that these herbs, bro, they synthesized them, but these herbs that were used in shaman practices could help you access the other worlds, as they described. So yeah, it was one hell of a trip. But then you go back to it and it's like, then you meet me today and you're like, whoa. Whoa. Yeah, whoa. Whoa. I didn't expect it either. And I look back, I'm like, damn, it's been this long. Look at how far you've come. Look at where you were when you started. I was just looking for answers. That's all I'm ever really doing. It's just looking for answers and delivering the messages. You know what I mean? What I found coming back. That's what started it. And what they say in the books is it'll happen to everyone. And when I realized that, I started encouraging, you know, trying to build an army of people that I thought were walking with me through these things, you know, taking their journeys. And I thought they would have the expertise to teach others how we could get through this. But that's not what went down, bro. They weren't doing it or anything. And they were just, you know, doppelganging and copycatting the shit. But the whole point is we've got to catch the next wave of people that wake up so they don't fucking take their lives freaking out. It was not, I mean, there's not footage or actual, I could show you a million fucking videos of me crying, but there's no way to really show you how painful it is, bro. When you're sitting there with your pain, your failings, and your memories. Just you, lost in the universe, locked in this dark place in your fucking mind where you can't see outside of you. You can only see this injustice being done to you, and you must accept it to get out of here. You can't make this thing in your visions in your face go away until you deal with it. And the way to deal with it is to feel all types of fucked up feelings, which I described in that, you know what I mean, in that reel of Kermit the Frog. It's like you go through so many. You're like, okay, I'm okay. And then all of a sudden you're not. You're furious, bro. And then you're crying again. And then you're all over the place all over again, bro. And you're like, okay. And then you finish it. You finally get over one memory, bro. Only for another one to come. And you're all in it again. I couldn't hold a job, bro. I couldn't do anything but look at my, you know what I mean? Once I opened that box of pain, bro, they just started coming out. And thank God, one at a time. Because as I tell people, it's like not one is worse than the other. And each one feels like I can't take it, bro. But then you learn to build a tolerance to that actual feeling of I can't take it. And you realize you can. You know when it peaks. You know when you're gonna, you know what I mean? When you've cried your hardest, you know you're still building up to it. You haven't hit that point. Do you want to die every time? No, but the shame makes you feel that way for sure. afterwards. If you're like someone like me and has to tell everybody about it, then you're ashamed. It wasn't what I went through. I could get over it, but then after I realized I'd already told everyone, then I was even filled with shame again, more shame. And then there was ones that people knew about that I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like the freak show thing. He knew his friends had raped me, and I had no idea. I was so ashamed, but it was too late. This is fucking 15 years later, and everybody already knew what they did to me. How can I be ashamed of it now? You know? And that's where it is, too. As you bring yourself back, you get stuck in these moments, and I can never live. But then you realize, damn, I've been living for a long time without it, and it's not even, you know. It's a long ride. It was a long ride. And, you know, for people to say that I was a bad person, or I was a witch, or I was out to get them, or I was anything, they were just, you know what I mean, literally delusional, or just absolute haters, because you can see through this whole journey, I'm just trying to figure it out, bro. I'm just trying to figure it out, and God's making me, you know what I mean? He's attracted me to all these people that are making it worse in my perspective, but they're made to push the healing out, because again, I don't have any memories. It's a blank ass space. So then I'm sitting here, he makes me watch your life, and your life reminds me of my life. And now through your life, I can heal something inside of my life, which I'm grateful for your experience. But then I realize you didn't heal. This is just an awful part of you and your life that you're not taking care of. Now that I've taken care of it, I don't want to be part of you and your awfulness. I've already taken care of my awfulness. But I still have compassion for you and forgiveness, because, you know what I mean, I was you. And that's where you are so grateful for them. They did nothing but make you face your own pains through them. And, you know, it's like, damn, I wish I never met you. But if I never met you, then I never would have got better. You had to bring out the worst in me so I can make it all better. And that's the relationship between a twin flame. I don't give a fuck. Prove me wrong, you fucking liars. It comes straight from God in my human experience, bro. And I don't have just one, because I haven't had just one lifetime. I didn't have one partner in crime. I evolved over time, and I needed a new partner, because obviously, as you can see, these men don't evolve over time. And that goes back to your basic relationships. Why didn't it work? Because you didn't evolve at the same time. You weren't evolving into the same people. And that's not a terrible thing, because evolution comes with, you know what I mean, a new world. If you grow out of this relationship, that means you're growing into a better type of relationship. And it is a painful process. The transformation, the growing out of something into something is absolutely painful. You know what I mean? Leaving something behind in order to become what you're not sure is in front of you is difficult. And that's where that hope and faith is. I want you to fucking walk away. Ever since the beginning, you know what I mean? It's like I put everything into that career. I was losing my mind trying to keep that fucking music going. Only for when it was finally done, God said, no more. I can't remember the songs. I have all the tracks, but I can't remember the songs I wrote. Isn't that wild? It's like a clean slate. It's crazy. A lot of things are, and that's what it is you're given a new life. All you gotta do is clean out the baggage of the old life, and you can have your new life. It's not how you see it, though. You literally have to destroy your old life to have this new life that God says that you can have. He shows you why you didn't have it before and what was holding you back. And that's just it. Today was very, I didn't take on too many of my videos, but that was enough to be like, wow. It's not going to be a long documentary. It's not going to be intense. It's going to be more about just, summarization of it. But the fucking channel, dude, there's so many hours of it where you can watch me go through every single battle that you'll have to do yourself. You won't have the same memories, but you'll have the same feelings to overcome. There's a red balloon just floating through the through the parking lot right now. I'm totally thinking about it. It's like the monster's gonna come get us out of out of the drain. What does it say? Billy? No. Say? I don't remember. Super funny. So that's all. The point of this is like, you're in for one hell of a journey, and I'm just here to guide you. You can't rush this, bro. You can't rush greatness. Go back and see how long it took Carl Jung to take his journey. He was a scientist. He knew how to work the brain. And still, how long did it take him? How long did it take Dante to take this journey through his mind? How long does it take for enlightenment to happen? Bro, the awakening happens in the blink of an eye. You walking through it is a whole nother deal, bro. It could take you 40 years. And scientifically, that's what's interesting too, is there's ages where this happens. There's times where this just hits. It's just waves. The first wave, the second wave. That's what I realized. As much as I thought that I was the only one, I saw that they had been doing, this has been happening since the beginning of time. But now it's happening, it's about to happen in masses. And, you know, that's what's interesting is, you know what I mean? Like the old, you know, your higher self knows exactly what's happening, but it's a new experience to your flesh. And that's it. It's like your brain doesn't have any record. This is the first time your brain's ever experienced such a thing. But you don't know that this is it's a reenactment of another experience so that you can experience it better. Really, until we really start taking those, you know, changing the times. We're just reliving old timelines to seal them off. We're just reliving patterns. Even though I'm on a new timeline, what looks like a new timeline, it's an old timeline being replayed, where I have to overcome something I didn't in a past life that somehow will be formulated into this new level. New levels, new devils is what they call it. What's the devil? Your mind, overcoming the limitations of your mind. That's what this whole thing is about. And, yeah, it's painful. It's painful, and it doesn't end. You want to put it down, you want to take a break, they'll give you breaks, but once it starts, no. The journey is to go back home. And once you get there, you're really going to realize, damn, I don't want to be the only one here. I got to go get someone else. At least one person. I got to find my bestie. Who's your bestie? I don't know. They're not who you think they are. But you'll recognize them. That's your soul recognition of, oh my God, we found each other. All right, catch on, bro. We're getting out of here. That's what we got to do. One of us has got to get us out of here, dude. Do you know what you're doing? Come here. We're getting out of here. We're not doing this again. Why'd we sign up for this bullshit? Damn it. Do you remember what we signed up for? Do you have deja vu? Do you remember doing this? Damn it. This must be my memory then. We're going to relive this. It's pretty much all that's happening. Stupid. You guys want to wonder why you keep dating the same douchebag. Because you haven't fucking changed dating the douchebags. Like I have a type. You have a fucking karmic pattern, is what you have. And they start running around telling you the loves of your lives that they're karmic. Imagine how it feels to be not divine and realize that you're not divine. You're just somebody's karma. I mean, think about it. All my twin flames are divine karma. Doesn't matter. We're all karma to each other. I'm definitely their karma, for sure. All right, well, it's Tuesday. You know, get your balls together, grab your balls, and get to work. What does that mean? Deal with yourself, bro. You're not going to have a good outside until you get your insides right. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. I know you got shit to do, but you're not going to be able to do that shit peacefully, successfully, and have a good outcome if you're not all right inside. It's true. You're probably going to lose your job doing this. Why? Because God wants to show you that he could take care of you, if you could just take care of you. That's part of the process, too. It's totally part of the process. The surrender process is going to be, very chilling for some of you. Especially, you know, I mean, it's chilling for everyone, because even though I was a full God believer, it wasn't in my books. You're going to have to go outside the box on this one. You're going to have to find answers that are not, you know what I mean, in your backyard. Only to come back and tell everyone in the backyard boogie. That's what I said. That's what I said to him. I've returned with the secret scrolls. That was so funny. Wait, we gotta do some fucking, yeah, we're gonna put some camera shit in there. I'm gonna have to put some of my ceremonials. Hey, what are you doing on 420? You gotta come see this. Let me show you what I do. You're gonna love this. Like, this is what you do with your time now? Yeah, bro, but I also talk to dead people and shit. Come on, sit down. This is great. Let me touch you. Let me align your chakras. You're gonna love this. You ever seen God? Going back to, you wonder why I ain't got no friends. No, because I just want to do stupid shit. I want to experience the true bliss of God. Not when you hear how bad he's fucking with me. No, it's been a ride, bro. But it's the marathon continues, is what I heard Nipsey say. I hate you guys. Fucking guys. These guys. And then there's those guys, you know what I mean? You find your guides and you get to work, bro, and they don't let you slip and slide. It's time to ride. Ride or die. And pretty much no, we're gonna ride till we die. And that made me sad last night. Damn, I watched a movie and cried because her best friend that she was in love with died. It's like, fuck, you'll be with her again. It's like, how long do you have to live? It's like, fuck, I'm here for so long. I have a whole lifetime. Some of you will die in your 50s and 60s. No joke. You really will. You won't even live as long as me. You won't even. Why? Because who the fuck wants to live that long anyways? Forever young. You're not young when you get old. That's not how that works, bro. You're gonna be all sad and shit because you can't do the shit you used to be able to do. So then you're like, I'm through. You're not gonna live to no fucking 100 years old. Why would you want to? Why would you want to when everybody you're waiting for, everybody you love is waiting for you on the other side? You're here to just do your job, bro. Live your life. You can't force it. Each day you know what I mean? Why am I still here? My grandma did that for fucking ever. I'd call her like, she's just, I'm waiting for God to come get me. Well, aren't we all? Make sure you have a good day while you're waiting. And that's what I do all day. I'm waiting for God to come get me. He'll come get us all when he's ready. when we've had enough experiences, enough life, when our time is done, when there's no more need for us, where we've come and done enough, we can go home. With that being said, you know, going back to it, it's like, you want to have peace on this, you know what I mean, in this reality before you leave it. Otherwise, you're coming back to an unpeaceful reality. Because, yeah, you still have more to experience and more to do. But you need a new vehicle to do it in, bro. By the time you hit 40, 50, you really start learning your lessons, and you wish you could have fucking applied those lessons to a younger you. So shall it be. And you start creating your next life. You don't know it, and that's what they're trying to do to me, is to get me to manifest my next life. I won't do it. I'm not committing to shit. I have commitment issues. But in the sense of, if you could do anything, what would you do? And that's you manifesting your next life. Okay, maybe they're not going to put it in this life because, you know, at your age, you don't need to be riding hot air balloons. But they're like, all right, put that down for the next life. And that's it. You're daydreaming of what would, you know, you want that, what your life should look like. And that's your blueprint for your next life. You're planning out, okay, I did all this. What didn't I do I wish I could have done? You'll accomplish still some of those. That's your bucket list. But that list goes with you. You created that list in your heart. And that list goes on. You know what I mean? That's your next life. And so that's what I mean by that, is like by that certain age, you start realizing what life you lived, what life you missed, what life you encourage others to live. And in that, you're creating your next new life. And then you come to a place of, well, I've had a good life. I've had a good life. I've had a life. And there's those that are tortured with, you know, I wish I would have had a better life, that are creating all of this, you know, for theirs. And then there's those that are content with their life. And maybe they have the desire to come back and experience a few more things. But someone like Mr. Plum, no, bro. He doesn't think about the things that he missed or didn't experience. He thinks about the greatness of what he has experienced. You know what I mean? He stays in how good things are. Of course, he'll have memories of his family. He misses his mom and his dad, and I tried to explain to him that he could keep them in the house with him and have conversations. You might have to go beyond what they call as logical and, you know what I mean, speak to the dead. But I promise you, if you keep this if you start the conversation, they'll keep it going in your heart. And you can have this relationship even though they're not physically here. You might have to be quiet when other people are physically in the room, but it's better to know that they're in the room, you know, no matter what. And that's where that starts, the mediumship. How does it start? They come to you, bro. You see them in your visions. Do you just stay in the feeling, or do you start a conversation? And that's where it is. How far will you let this conversation go inside of you? Because I assure you, nobody outside can see them. They don't see them. You get to see them. You get to speak with them. This is a gift. And though people are telling you you're crazy and this isn't real, when you see them, they're real. They're just not really here. You can see them plain as day in your memory. The people that you've lost, dead people and shit, they come to you. You can hear their voices, their songs, their lyrics, stuff like that. Things they said, you know what I mean? That's what I say. Every time I hear someone in my video say, you people, I was like, that's my grandma, bro. That's my grandma. It's the only person on this earth that I knew said that. That's my grandma speaking right now. She's in there too, somewhere. My grandma's in there speaking. And, you know, that's why I'd be laughing. I was like, okay, thanks. Whoever's speaking, you know, what's in there. And that's where you tap into that oneness. And again, you're like, you know, you can't have, it's in the books, bro. I'm not the only one. They taught about this forever. You're just never seen someone do it. And that's what the documentary is about, is to show you how to do it, how I did it. So you could do it better. Because it will be done. It will be done to you. For you. God, in that fucking verbiage. I'm doing this for you. You're doing it to me. Stop doing shit to me. I'm doing it for you. Fucking God. Did I talk to God like that before I went in? No, I did not. It came out of bad mama jamma. In the sense of, you look at the videos and I still looked, you know what I mean, kind and soft and sweet. You would have never known, bro. You could have never known that all that was going on. And that's how it is now. People just look at me, they don't know. They have no idea. They're drawn to me. They don't know what's going on. Like, don't make eye contact. Hey, I am your guide through the journey of your dark night of the soul. You can't stop it once it's started. I'm only here to show you how to embrace it. And I'm not going to lie to you, it's extremely painful to face your fears and let go of the things you love. But it's part of it. And in every book you'll see that that's what it took. You know what I mean? To become a spiritual, you know, to become one with the spirit. It called for, you know, self-sacrifice. So, I'm going to leave you on that note. My tummy's rumbling. I'm ready to get some food and shit. Again, I just have to sit around and watch a bunch of these videos, and they're like, it's a lot. So, in a while, I'll pull some cards and stuff. I did get approval for my Patreon. Make sure that you go and link on. I'm not even playing around, dude. I'm serious. You guys are going to wait, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, I told you. We have to take this to the next level, and it's going to cost you $5 a month. And, you know what I mean, if you want to get to, I don't think you want to get to where I am, where you're a whole priestess and shit. But if you want to get yourself right, that's where we're going to do it at. You can still go through these videos, but again, if you haven't noticed, I'm getting better at my teachings. So we might pull the same cards, like always, because I don't, you know, that's what we work out of. You're always going to pull the same Bible. But in the essence is that, you know, we're going to go dive deeper each time, and that's what we do. We pull out more and more layers, so make sure that you're subscribed over there. Get you a membership. And that's also where I'm going to load my videos for, you know, the awakening videos. I don't have to follow any protocol. I can put them, I can do whatever I want. Nobody's telling me what I can and can't do. I do whatever I want, so make sure you're subscribed over there so you don't get left out. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Laters, haters.